In the summer of 2008, the tranquil suburbs of Orlando, Florida, were rocked by the bewildering disappearance of a 2-year-old girl named Kaylee Anthony. At the center of this heart-wrenching mystery stood her mother, Casey Anthony, whose actions and explanations would soon thrust her into the spotlight of a nationally televised trial. Casey, a young mother in her early 20s, was no stranger to the challenges of raising a child. However, as the weeks passed without a trace of Kaylee, concerns deepened and raised suspicions. The baffling circumstances surrounding the case gripped the nation and drew the attention of law enforcement officials. Kaylee's disappearance was not reported to the authorities for an entire month, sparking immediate speculation and skepticism. This delay in reporting, combined with Casey's seemingly nonchalant demeanor and inconsistent explanations, gave rise to doubts about the truthfulness of her account. The public's disbelief was further fueled by Casey's seemingly carefree lifestyle during the time her daughter was missing. As news of the disappearance spread, an intense search effort was launched to locate Kaylee. The community rallied together, volunteers scoured neighborhoods and wooded areas, and the media's watchful eye documented every twist and turn of the investigation. The desperate search for answers led to the discovery of Kaylee's remains in December 2008, months after she had vanished. The grim revelation of Kaylee's fate marked a turning point in the case. The investigation shifted from a search for a missing child to a criminal inquiry with potentially grave implications. The circumstances surrounding the discovery of the remains raised a multitude of questions, and the pressure mounted on law enforcement to uncover the truth. The investigation pointed its focus toward Casey, as her questionable behavior and contradictory statements became increasingly difficult to ignore. The prosecution began building a case that would paint a portrait of Casey as a neglectful and reckless mother, more concerned with her personal life than the well-being of her child. Allegations of partying and an apparent lack of genuine concern for Kaylee's whereabouts cast a shadow over her actions. During Casey's trial, the state's prosecution team laid out a case that sought to cast her as a neglectful and callous mother whose actions led to the tragic demise of her own daughter. With a compelling array of evidence and witnesses, they wove together a narrative of a young woman more interested in her social life than in the well-being of her child. Prosecutors pointed to Casey's alleged partying and cavalier attitude during the time Kaylee was missing. They highlighted her seemingly nonchalant demeanor in the face of the investigation, a stark contrast to the anguish one would expect from a concerned mother. The presentation of forensic evidence linking Casey to the trunk of her car, where the scent of decomposition was detected, further deepened the prosecution's argument. In a courtroom drama that held the nation's gaze, the defense team fervently countered the prosecution's allegations, portraying her as a young woman unfairly thrust into the role of a single mother, grappling with personal challenges in a tumultuous family dynamic. They posited that Kaylee's death was a tragic accident, suggesting that she accidentally drowned in the family pool and that Casey's subsequent actions were a panicked response rather than premeditated murder. The defense highlighted potential mishandling of evidence and gaps in the prosecution's case, urging the jury to consider alternative explanations. Key witnesses took the stand, offering emotional and sometimes conflicting testimonies that shaped the trajectory of the trial. Friends and family members recounted their observations of Casey's behavior during the time of Kaylee's disappearance, adding layers of complexity to the narrative. Expert witnesses provided insights into forensic evidence, shedding light on the science behind the case. Inside the hallowed halls of the courtroom, the Casey's trial reached its climactic stage. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as the prosecution and defense teams delivered their closing arguments, each striving to leave an indelible mark on the minds of the jurors. The prosecution reiterated their theory that Casey had callously taken her daughter's life and then attempted to cover up the crime. They painted a vivid picture of a young mother more concerned with her social life than the welfare of her child. The scent of decomposition in her car, they argued, was a damning piece of evidence that tied her to Kaylee's tragic fate. The defense, in a final bid to sway the jury, leaned heavily on the notion of reasonable doubt. They implored the jurors to consider the possibility of an accidental drowning, a narrative that they claimed aligned with the available evidence. The defense team highlighted inconsistencies and gaps in the prosecution's case, urging the jurors to resist the pressure of emotion and media influence. The jurors, an eclectic cross-section of society, retreated to deliberate on the verdict that would shape the outcome of the trial. Inside the jury room, intense debates and discussions ensued. As the hours turned into days, the nation held its collective breath, anxiously awaiting the jury's pronouncement. Finally, the jury emerged from their deliberations. Not guilty. The courtroom erupted in a mix of emotions: shock, elation, and outrage. Supporters of Casey rejoiced, while those who believed in her guilt were left disillusioned. The trial had concluded, but the impact of the verdict would linger far beyond those courtroom walls. The end of Casey's trial marked the beginning of a new chapter, one defined by the aftermath, controversy, and lingering questions that would continue to haunt the collective consciousness. As Casey walked out of the courtroom a free woman, reactions across the nation were a tumultuous blend of shock, outrage, and disbelief. The verdict had polarized public opinion, sparking debates about the efficacy of the justice system and the boundaries of reasonable doubt. The trial had become a crucible of emotion, revealing the intricate interplay between legal proceedings and the court of public opinion. Amid the aftermath and controversy, one certainty emerged: the trial had forever left an indelible mark on the lives of those involved and the broader tapestry of American society. It served as a stark reminder of the intricate dance between law, morality, and the intricacies of the human experience. As the years passed, the echoes of the Casey Anthony trial endured, a lasting reminder of the complex intersections of justice, media, and the enigmatic nature of truth itself. And with that, we have come to the end of our video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. This has been saying, see you next time.